Waste is one of the UK's big issues as we move from the throwaway age into one of conserving resources. No longer is it acceptable simply to tip what we don't want into holes in the ground. Finding new and more sustainable solutions is one of the big challenges of our time, and with local authorities now facing substantial fines for failing to cut back on landfill, failure is not an option. Mechanical biological treatment, or MBT, is one of the new technologies attracting growing interest, not just from councils, but from companies keen to use processed household waste as a fuel. While MBT is still relatively new to the UK, it's already in wide use across Europe, notably here in Germany, which had some 40,000 landfill sites in the 1970s, but now has just 350. With landfill no longer the acceptable route for household waste, MBT has become an attractive alternative. This new plant at Osnabrück, to the west of Hanover, is operated by Herhoff. It takes up to 90,000 tonnes of waste a year, produced by a population of 500,000 people over a wide surrounding area. Where once they dumped their waste into landfill, today it's transformed into 4 different products. Around half is processed to become a biofuel, widely used by the cement and power industries. A third is extracted from the waste as water, which is then reused to cool the plant. Ferrous and non-ferrous metals make up around 4% and are sent for reprocessing to be used again. The remaining 10% consists of materials like small stones and glass, which can be used for basic construction purposes and as inert fill material. The process takes place in a completely enclosed building. Germans are great recyclers, and it's only the remaining household waste from local homes that is offloaded into this large reception area. The process is then totally automatic. Large cranes transfer the waste first into a preliminary shredder and then into one of 5 boxes. Here, air is constantly blown through the waste to dry it, and to speed up the biological process that breaks it down. After a week, the dried waste moves on to the mechanical process, where the material is put through a series of sieves which separate the inert content in different sizes. After further shredding, you have a light, fluffy end product, which burns well and has a calorific value similar to coal. It looks like shredded paper, and may include elements of cardboard, wood, carpet, textiles and light plastics. Herhoff is confident that MBT has a big part to play in the future of waste management right across Europe.
In our opinion, that's also the reason we bought this plant. We believe that very big potentials for this technology in Germany, but mainly abroad, because we believe that other markets, like the UK markets, they are in a stage that this technology can be adapted very, very urgently.
The new fuel produced by plants like the one at Osnabrück is playing a key role in the cement industry across Germany. For cement companies like CEMEX, it's a vital means of reducing consumption of traditional fossil fuels and cutting costs. The use of household waste-derived fuels by the cement industry has been welcomed by regulators, local authorities and communities alike as a means of avoiding landfill and achieving sustainability. Germany's environmental legislation is tough, and approval has come only after exhaustive testing and extensive public consultation. With 5 cement works in the region, the local regulators have become recognised as experts in assessing trials using refuse-derived fuels. Richard Bolwerk, who is Chief Environmental Officer for the Munster region, spoke to us through an interpreter. Mr. Bolwerk stressed the need for openness on the part of manufacturers and open-mindedness on the part of local authorities and communities. After 10 years supervising trials involving waste-derived fuels, he's convinced that they are the right way forward, and they have much to offer communities in terms of sustainable waste management. He believes the use of such fuels across Europe will grow greatly over the coming years as their all-round benefits become recognized. And he concluded,
Ich denke, dass das ein Brennstoff für die Zukunft sein muss.
It must be a fuel for the future.
CEMEX's Kollenbach cement plant between Dortmund and Münster is one of the works for which Mr. Bollwerk is responsible. Refuse-derived fuels are one of 3 alternative fuels used at Kollenbach that together contribute up to 65% of overall fuel needs. The other fuels are chipped tyres and meat and bone meal. CEMEX carefully specifies the quality of these fuels. Kollenbach first started using alternative fuels as part replacement for fossil fuels such as coal in 1985. Each alternative fuel has been through intensive trials, which have shown reductions in emissions of carbon dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. Other emissions remain well within limits that have themselves been progressively tightened over recent years. Thanks to a constructive dialogue with regulators and local people, Kollenbach plant and the community are now reaping the benefits of using alternative fuels.
Our target was and is that we have alternative fuels with the same quality like lignite coal or hard coal. And only in this case we can burn with a high level of alternative fuels and can reach our environmental protection targets, our quality targets and our costs.
In an open letter in July 2006, the local council for the town of Beckham, where the works is situated, stressed the need for openness and dialogue. The letter added, "The aim is to achieve general acceptance of the use of alternative fuels in public life. This has actually worked out very well in Beckham because by using alternative fuels, the emissions have been drastically reduced." Germany is acknowledged as a European leader in its sustainable approach to waste management. Progressive recycling has helped shrink individual waste from 400 kilos a year in the 1970s to around 100 kilos today. But even when home recycling has been exhausted, the material that is left still does not need to go to landfill if its fuel potential is recognised.